Aký je dnes dátum? Aha, 22. januára. A ideme do Kyota. To bol Shinkansen a pre nás, pre deti z takých máme Japan Rail Passes. Sme si vybavili. Koľko to stojí?
Cez 200 libier na týždeň na osobu.
Vraj je to lacnejšie, než to majú domáci, nám to zavidia.
Jedna cesta do Kyoto a späť by stála okolo 200 libier na osobu, čiže v podstate len Kyoto nám to vyrovná. A keď pôjdeme ešte do Hirošimy, po prípade na Fuji, sme vlastne už...
A ešte sa dajú vybaviť miestenky.
Zadarmo.
Zadarmo, aby sme mohli sedieť spolu. Ako dlho bude trvať cesta z Tokia do Kyota?
Nejaké 3 hodiny.
A môžeme dospať, čo sme nedospali.
Ja som spal cca 4 hodiny.
Ja nemám pocit, že som spala.
Ale ja, ale asi 4 hodiny som nespal.
We choose, of course, Shinkansen as a transport, the famous Japanese train operating at a speed of about 300 kilometers per hour.
Úplne opačne išli. Tu je miesto. Ale ja normálne vystriem nohu.
The journey can be very comfortable in Shinkansen. Seats are adjustable, like in airplane, and there is enough legroom. During the journey, in good weather, there is a chance to see Mount Fuji from the seats on the right side. A one-day metro or bus ticket costs just over €7. Fushimi Inari-Taisha is the head shrine of Kami Inari. It sits at the base of mountain also named Inari, which is 233 meters above sea level. Fushimi is one of the 11 parts of Kyoto. Kami are spirits, phenomena, or holy powers worshipped in the Shinto religion. They can be elements of the landscape, natural forces, or beings at the qualities that these beings express. They can also be the spirits of venerated dead people. Although the word kami is translated into English in several ways, no English word can express its full meaning. Inari is a Japanese kami of foxes, fertility, rice, tea, agriculture and industry, general well-being and world success, and one of the major kami of Shinto worship since the founding of this shrine in 711 AD. More than a third of Shinto shrines in Japan, about 32,000, are dedicated to Inari. It is not known whether Inari is male or female, because this phenomenon is portrayed differently. Sometimes even as a collective, or as an androgyne, a bisexual being of amazing power who rebelled against the gods. Zeus halved each androgynous, and since then, these parts, in their desire for lost unity, have been looking for their missing halves to connect each other. In 1468, during the Civil War, the entire sanctuary complex was burned. The reconstruction took about 30 years. During the Tokugawa period, money replaced rice as the measure of wealth in Japan. At that time, Inari's role as a kami of worldly prosperity was extended to all aspects of finance, businesses, and industry. At the beginning of the 18th century, followers of Inari mint struck coins meant for offering to Inari for long life and good luck. The highlight of the shrine is the rows of red gates, known as Senbon Tori. The custom to donate a tori began spreading from the Edo period in the early 17th century, to have a wish to come true, or in gratitude for a wish that came true. There are about 1,000 tori gates along the main path. Tori, literally a bird perch, is a traditional Japanese gate that is most often located at the entrance to a Shinto shrine and symbolically marks the transmission from the mundane to the sacred. Tori gates have traditionally been made of wood or stone. Today, however, they can also be made of reinforced concrete, compier, stainless steel, or other materials. If the path to the shrine is lined with several tori, the first of them is called Ichi no Tori, the first tori. The following ones are usually called in order: Ni no Tori, San no Tori, the second, third, and so on. Due to the strong relationship between the Shinto shrines and the Japanese imperial family, we can find these gates in front of the tomb of each emperor. The origins of tori are unknown, and there are several different theories on the subject, none of which have gained universal acceptance. Because the use of symbolic gates is widespread in Asia, historians believe they may be an imported tradition. Why are the gates mainly red? Red is thought to reflect evil spirits, danger, and bad luck. In addition to the spiritual function, the red color also has a protective function. It is usually made using mercury, which has been used as a wood preservative since ancient times. Foxes, regarded as the messengers, are often found in Inari shrines. They tend to have a key for rice granary in their mouth. In Japanese legends, the fox is portrayed as an intelligent being possessing supernormal abilities that increase with age and wisdom. During the Japanese New Year, several million believers visit the shrine. In the early 17th century, military dictator Tokugawa Ieyasu, the founder of the feudal military government, ordered all the feudal lords of Western Japan to contribute to the construction of Nijō Castle. It was completed in 1626 and served as a government residence. Admission to the castle is 620 yen, so 5 euros or $6, plus another 410 yen, over 3 euros or $4, to the Palace of Ninomaru. Nijō Castle consists of 2 rings of Kuruwa fortifications, Ninomaru Palace, the ruins of Honmaru Palace, various supporting buildings, and several gardens. The central fortress was struck by lightning in 1750 and burned to the ground. In almost 4 decades, the fire destroyed the inner ward. The site remained empty until it was replaced by a prince residence transferred from the Kyoto Imperial Palace at the end of the 19th century. In 1939, the palace was donated to the city of Kyoto, and the following year it was opened to the public.
Welcome. The following is a brief explanation of Nijō Castle, which has been a World Heritage Site since 1994.
Ninomaru Palace, with an area of 3,300 square meters, consists of 5 connected separate buildings and is built almost entirely of hinoki cypress. The decoration includes lavish quantities of gold leaf and elaborate wood carving intended to impress visitors with the power of wealth of the shoguns. The sliding doors and walls of each room are decorated with wall painting by artists of the Kano school. The castle is an excellent example of social control, which manifests itself in the architectural space. Low-rated visitors were received in the outer areas of Ninomaru, while high-rated visitors were shown indoors. There are part of the buildings where only women were allowed to enter. One of the most striking features of the Ninomaru Palace are the nightingale floors in corridors that make a chirping sound when walking. Honmaru Palace has an area of 1,600 square meters and has 4 parts: living rooms, reception and entertainment rooms, entrance halls, and kitchen area. There are several gardens and groves of cherries and Japanese plums in the castle grounds. I'm sure that in the spring it looks much more beautiful here. The gardens were designed by landscape architect and tea master Kambori and Shu. In the garden there is a lake with 3 islands, where stones and topiary pine trees are carefully placed. Seiru-en Garden is the newest part of Nijō Castle and serves as facility for the reception of official guests of Kyoto and as a venue for cultural events. It has 2 tea rooms and more than 1,000 carefully arranged stones. Gion is a district of Kyoto that dates back to the Sengoku period, sometime between the 15th and 17th century, built in front of the Yasaka shrine to meet the needs of travelers and visitors to the shrine. Eventually, it became one of the most exclusive and well-known geisha districts in all of Japan. The geisha in Kyoto do not refer to themselves as geisha. Instead, they use the local term geiko. While the term geisha means artist, the more direct term geiko is basically a woman of art. Despite the significant decline in the number of geisha in Gion over the last 100 years, the area is still famous for its preservation of forms of traditional architecture and entertainment. Part of this district has even been declared as a National Historical Preservation District. The city of Kyoto has created a project to restore the streets of Gion, which involves moving all the overhead power lines underground to preserve the original beauty of Gion. Gion remains dotted with old-style Japanese wooden houses called machiya, which basically means a townhouse, some of which are ochaya. Although the term ochaya means tea house, tea is definitely not the only thing served here. These are traditional establishments where the patrons of Gion, from the samurai of old to modern-day businessmen, have been entertained by geiko in an exclusive manner for centuries. Geisha is Japanese entertainer that perform traditional Japanese art such as traditional dance or singing. They are characterized by their long trailing kimono, traditional hairstyle and makeup called oshiroi, which literally means white powder. Contrary to popular belief, geisha are not prostitutes. This myth was brought to Western countries by foreigners who mistaken geisha for oiran, which are courtesans who also historically wore kimonos, but there were some differences in styles or dress and appearances.